Hey, what's up, Co-op Shop viewers? This is Mike, and we are looking at the solo mode in Tapestry from Stonemaier Games. This was a review copy, by the way, and if you'd like to hear my thoughts on the solo mode, go check out my review video. So setup for the solo mode is pretty quick. You get your choice of two of these capital city boards. I've got the tropical one here. And you take an income mat and set it up with 5 of each building type on each of the little tracks here, and 1 of each of the resource markers there. You draw 2 of these civilizations and choose which one you want to take. So here I've got the craftsmen. Basically, as I build these income buildings, usually they'd go on this sheet, and they would eventually give me some possibility of victory points and resource generation. But I can instead here put them on the craftsmen, and they'll build up in these little columns, and that'll give me victory points and other bonuses. My other option are the historians. Basically, every income phase, which you'll see when we get into the rules, I can give a different player here the automa one of these little tokens and take one of my tokens off of here, and every time the automa does something, I'll gain this benefit. So between the two, I feel like even though maybe the historians will be more powerful, the craftsmen are more active. So I'm going to go with them and potentially use my buildings on here instead of on my capital city. Now, so the rest of the setup, it's pretty quick. You've got this big board. You can't see the whole thing here. I put 2 of my little outposts here in my starting hex, 2 of the automas in this starting hex. There's also a second automa, the Shadow Empire, that's kind of like a partial automa, but can't actually earn victory points. And you'll see there's these 4 tracks going around the board. You can't see the topmost one. So I'm putting on the starting space 1 marker for me, 1 for the main automa, 1 for the Shadow Empire on the starting space here. I've also dealt out 3 technology cards. I have the deck of Tapestry cards, the deck of the rest of technology cards, and yeah, that's basically the board setup there. For the main automa itself, I'm going to pick a difficulty level. I'm going with level 4 today, which has its own behavior card when the automa takes an income turn. I'm going to roll the tech die to determine the automa's favored track. So here it is military. So I take the matching Conquerors card and put it over here. It's going to have some special rules for them. And that also means that I take one of the automa's outposts and put it next to this track, the military track. That's going to be their favored track, and they'll pick it in a lot of tie situations. Finally, I determine an alternate favored track for the Shadow Empire, so I roll until I get something else, technology. And just like I have an outpost next to the military track, here I've got an outpost next to the technology track to remind me that that's their favored one. And final quick little step, I have taken the 7 cards that have circles in the bottom right-hand corner. Those are the starting cards, plus 1 additional card from the progress deck that I've shuffled. That's going to add cards to this over time. And I shuffle these together, and the AI is ready to take their turns. So I'll go through the basic rules of Tapestry as I play through the first few rounds. The game has pretty simple rules, but just a lot of strategic implications for them. So for every player, including the automa, the first turn they have to take in the game is an income turn, which has this little track here to remind you what the steps are. And it's really hard to see, but you'll see that there's some numbers next to this. The key thing to realize is that the number 1, the first income turn, only does this income step. I'll do all these other ones for future income turns in the game. And income is super simple to resolve. I just look for the little income symbols here, plus anything else that doesn't have the sort of laurels of victory points around it. So I'm going to gain 1 of each resource, plus 1 of these little exploration tiles, and 1 tapestry card. And these will both be sort of in my hand for possible use later. Exploration tiles can go on the map and also be conquered, and tapestry cards get played during each future income turn and give me bonuses. Like this one would let me spend resources to gain victory points, or spend victory points to gain resources. Not too strong of a one, but that's okay. And that's it for my first turn, so let's get to the AI for their first income turn. Now their income turns are a bit more complicated, but once again we have a very simple first income turn. They're just getting a tapestry card for their supply, and that is it. And these stay face down. All these are used for is to check when I attack them, whether they have a trap to stop me from attacking them. So this is going to sit near their board and not do anything right now. Alright, so now we get to the first regular turn of the game, and we'll really see how this all works. So the basic idea is that I'm going to advance on one of the 4 tracks on the board using my resources here, and I'll go back and forth with the AI, taking turns. Whenever I am low on resources or just feel I'm ready, I can get an income turn and go into the next phase of my civilization, adding a tapestry card, using my civ powers, getting victory points. And we'll just go like that with both me and the automa doing a bunch of advanced turns followed by an income turn until we've both taken our 5th income turn, and that's the end of the game. We see who has most victory points. So here's one example of the tracks we can advance on, in this case the exploration track. So for the costs indicated up here, this is the wild symbol, so I can use any of the 4 resources. Remember, I currently have 1 of each. I can gain the benefit indicated here by moving my token into that space. So here I'd gain 2 more exploration tiles, but nothing else yet. If I moved here, I get to place one of them on the board, which gets me some victory points. And these are little bonuses you can take. So in this case, I could spend 1 more resource to draw a Tapestry card. But that's the basic idea. You pay the cost, you advance 1 space, you get whatever is indicated there. And to give you a basic idea of what each advancement track is focused on, exploration, as you can imagine, is all about putting those exploration tiles on the board, and those get you victory points based on how well they align with the tiles already on the map. So basically building a nicer looking map gets you more victory points. And then over here we have the technology track, which is the automa's favorite. That gets you these technology cards, which will get you victory points every income phase and also give you advantages as they kind of advance and get more researched in technology. So that's the tech tree's main thing. The military track, sorry, it's upside down, is all about putting outposts out, which is actually conquering the little tiles. So it does pair really well with exploration. And you can even conquer your enemy's tiles, although, as I said, that comes with some dangers with the traps. And in this case, they're going to be pretty aggressive, probably, since they're already on an aggressive favored track. And then finally, science here has a lot of, you see these little green dice, which is what I rolled to determine the favorite track at the beginning of the game for the automa. So this is sort of the jack of all trades. 1, because it will advance me on other tracks, or this track. That little green die will move me up on tracks, sometimes not getting the benefits, like you see with this X here, sometimes getting the full benefit. So science can benefit lots of other strategies I might pursue. And a quick note that there are some sort of big objectives we're racing towards to get some extra victory points potentially. Whoever topples 2 of the opponent's outposts first in one of these contested conquering actions can get some victory points. Getting to the middle island first, it will get you victory points. And then also moving to the end of tracks first gets you victory points. I'll give you a bit more of a bird's eye view while I figure out what I want to do. So I could compete with the automa on one of their favored tracks and try to kind of race with them and steal landmarks from them, because whenever you reach one of these little gap spaces, you get a landmark that goes in your capital board and could help you finish things faster. Or I could go somewhere that they're totally ignoring, which would be science or exploration right now. And my civilization, remember, just likes those income buildings coming out, and that'll happen pretty much no matter what I do. So it's not really pushing me in any one direction. So in this case, I think I'm going to do a little bit of an exploratory action, spend 1 resource to advance on the science track, and that will advance me on another track, but without a benefit. And I can kind of see where this goes and decide where I want to proceed from there. So it took me along the technology track, which does mean I missed my first chance to get a tech card. Not sure that was good for me. And that was my entire turn, to spending a resource and doing little actions. So now we're going to see how an automa turn works. So I draw a pair of cards and randomly put one of them on the left and the right. And like a lot of the Automa Factory's recent designs, you're looking at just the middle. The stuff on the outside doesn't matter. So first it tells me how the automa and the Shadow Empire are going to advance. The Shadow Empire, again, is not getting victory points. They're just kind of competing with me and sometimes helping the automa. So this symbol means the automa is going to advance to the closest space that either gets them to the end of a track or to the next landmark space, which again is every 4 spaces or every 3 spaces when you break through into a next little tier. And right now, they're not closer than anything on any one track. Everything's tied, so you use these tiebreakers. So in this case, they are going to go on the Conquer track, their favored one, and they would have progressed down if those were not the ones that were tied. Meanwhile, the Shadow Empire is just going to go to the one that is the closest to the end, which again is everything tied right now. So he's going to go for Exploration with his tiebreaker. So for the automa, he'll move the first space of the military track, and a lot of the benefits don't apply to the automa, but conquering does. He's going to put down one of his outposts. And there's a whole little set of steps you follow to find out where he's going to go, but generally speaking, he wants to go toward the middle island to get those free points, so he's going to randomly put down a tile for free. He kind of explores and conquers at the same time, and he's going to put his outpost there. Now, additionally, because the cards I drew have this little toppled symbol here, that means that I add a toppled Shadow Empire outpost there as well. Now, why does that matter? You can't conquer places where there are already 2 tokens or 2 outposts, so that has locked me out of ever conquering that particular hex right there. Meanwhile, the Shadow Empire just moves one. They don't really do anything except when they get to these landmark spaces, they will give the landmark to the main automa, so they do hurt me in that way. As for my turn, since the science roll put me down the technology track, I think I will advance here again. That leaves up one of my 3 remaining resources. I'm going to get another Tapestry card, which is good because I don't really like the guild one too much. And here it's Democracy. I'm going to draw 3 Tapestry cards if I play it, discard any number of them for 2 victory points each, and then keep the rest. And I can spend an additional resource to gain an income building. Let's do that. So I've got 1 resource left. I take the leftmost thing that reveals a new resource. So I'm going to generate 2 resources during my income phase for the technology track. And then I could put this on my civilization board, and these little circle ones are already taken out of play. They're already filled for me. And if I can get full rows or full columns, that gets me victory points every turn. And if I can completely fill a little box of 9, I get a free resource when I do that. But in this case, I instead want to fill these, and let's see. If I go here, I'll get a resource. If I go here, I'll get a tech card. And that's actually going to work out well for me. So I'm going to go here and get a free little gold bag resource for myself. And the reason for that is I want to get to that technology card because if I advance up a tech track again, I'll have a choice between another income building or a technology card. But hey, I can have the best of both worlds if I put that income building on that spot and get a technology card as well. All right, the automa is up again. And this time they're going to try to race toward the end of a track, which means they'll do the military track again. Don't even need a tiebreaker because they're already the closest. And this one means that the Shadow Empire is just going to go wherever the tiebreaker tells them. They don't care which track it is as long as they're not finished yet. And the heart symbol means it's their preferred track, their favorite track, which will be technology, the one that I'm going up. So in this case, the automa goes here, and they just get the Tapestry card, which again could be a trap if I attack them later. And the Shadow Empire goes up here, but they don't do anything with any of the tracks. They just move up until they get landmarks, so they're done. Now, a quick little strategy note. If I go into my income turn first, I get a free resource, and that increases as I go into future income turns. Whereas if the AI goes into their income turn first, they get some free victory points, 2, 3, or 4 is shown here. They have 4 cards left. They will definitely take another turn, but then the turn after that, there's a chance that they will take an income turn immediately, or a chance that they'll resolve these cards. I don't know. So I know I definitely have 1 more turn to do stuff, but then I'll have to decide if I want to take an income turn. So I've got 2 resources left. Let's go do our plan to advance technology track. So we'll go here for one of our 2 remaining resources. And we have a choice to take off another one of the buildings for the technology track or get a technology card, but don't forget we're going to do both. So I'll grab another income building here and put it over there and get a tech card of my choice. So let's look at these 3 tech cards that are on offer for a second and see how they work. So we've got assembly line, radio, and sewage and plumbing. So if I take any of these, I'm not going to gain any benefit yet, but I will get victory points for them every turn because of how far I've advanced my little market technology income track on my player board. It's going to be 2 victory points per card right now. But then additionally, during the income phase, I get to advance one of them to their circle space and gain the indicated benefit. That would be a military resource, 3 victory points, or activating a different tech card. That won't help me much since I only have 1. And then in a future income turn, once it's already on a circle space, I can advance it to the square space and gain the even stronger benefit. But you'll note there's a requirement for me or any of the other players in the game, so either automa, to be at a certain spot in a track. So for assembly line to work, somebody would have to be on the 3rd exploration spot. Here's somebody have to be on the 2nd technology spot, and here's somebody on the 4th science track. So I'm going to take sewage and plumbing because I don't mind getting more resources, and also I should be on the 2nd technology track myself pretty soon, even if the AI does not accommodate me, whereas neither of those is going to work too well. And I do replace it with time traveling, which could be advantageous if I get all the way up to 4 technology, or somebody does, but we'll look at that for later. And just to show you how it works, this starts in the little X space, and again, during my income turn, I can upgrade it to a circle, and then upgrade it to square eventually. Meanwhile, the automa in their guaranteed turn, looks like the regular automa is going to advance on technology, because that's one where they don't care, so they just use the tiebreaker. And then the Shadow Empire wants to advance to the closest landmark or the end. He is 1 ahead on both the technology and the exploration track, so tiebreaker says exploration is where he's moving. So Shadow Empire moves up here for no effect. And automa also enters the tech place, and what he does is he's going to discard all 3 cards, and we'll draw 3 replacements. You've got Warships, which could get you a free conquer action eventually. Something that scores all of your science buildings, and something that gives you a free building for exploration. So, okay. Now, as I said, the automa has 2 cards left, so they could take an income turn next time. I don't want to take that chance. So I'm going to take my income turn first. So now we'll see all the steps. This one is resolve your civilization power. Mine doesn't have a power. It's just free bonuses that I put stuff there, so I skip that. Next is the play a tapestry card phase, and out of these 2, I'm definitely going to go for democracy and draw 3 tapestry cards, discard any number for 2 victory points each. Now let's see, I've got capitalism. When I gain income, gain 2 victory points per gold earn, and that's not too bad because gold is the one I'm going for right now. Whenever you gain one of the gold buildings, also gain another gold resource, so that is awesome. And this is mercantilism, the same thing except for exploration. And finally, militarism. Whenever you explore a territory, you may place an outpost on the newly explored territory. Nice. The ones that really appeal to me are capitalism and potentially militarism, so I can definitely get rid of at least these 2 for 4 victory points. Or I could just keep capitalism for 6, but let's leave ourselves some options and keep 2 of these. So woohoo, I'm the first one on the board, 4 victory points. It will not last. All right, continuing on, the little gold arrow means I get to advance the technology, so here I go, and I get the circle benefit right away, which is another military resource. And then you also see the laurel symbol, so I gain any victory points that have been revealed on my income. So because I've gone so far on the markets, I'm getting 2 victory points, because this is a repeated symbol for each technology card, so that's 2. I'm getting 1 victory point for each completed row or column, don't have any of those, and that's it for now. So 2 more victory points bringing me to 6. Then finally I gain my income again, so that's going to be 1 of each resource, plus an additional gold from the market. And then I'll get another free exploration tile, and another free tapestry card, Pirate Rule. When you conquer a territory tile, gain the benefits on that tile in addition to the benefit of the conquer dice. Starting to give me conquer ones that I don't really want. And this exploration tile would let me, again, roll the science die, but advance without a benefit for it. Oh, and I almost forgot. I get an additional resource for finishing my income phase first, so let's go ahead and build that up with more gold. All right, now we'll see if the automa takes their income turn or not. We kind of hope they do, but they do not. There would have been this little hand symbol here. You can see it down here. So they're going to take a whole nother turn and then do an income turn next time. So they're going to advance any track that's not finished, and it'll be their favorite one, so they'll do a conquer action. And then the Shadow Empire will move to try to get a landmark, which will mean they'll explore again. All right, so the conquer action is going to let them conquer again. That sadly means they do get into the center island first and get that achievement. That's going to be 10 victory points for them. Now, there was not a little toppled symbol on the cards this time, so there won't be a Shadow Empire there, so I could go in there myself one day and get 5 victory points. And the Shadow Empire will move up 1, so both of them are almost to the point where they'll get a free landmark. All right, so we've got 3 of both the military and the technology track resource, and then 1 of each of the other ones. So I'll spend 1 of the military ones to move up the science track, I think. If I spend an extra resource, which I think I will, move that down to 0, I'll also get to place 1 of these science buildings. Oh man, we got another military one, Pillage and Plunder. They were trying to tell me something, it seems. Let's see, that one would let me level up a technology card, but I'm not ready yet because technology has not gone that high yet. It would need to be at level 2. So I can get a free resource, and yeah, let's start working towards that free science upgrade there. So that gets me 1 of the brown resources. All right, now the automa will take its income turn because it's out of cards, and it has to. And because it's on level 4, this is pretty nasty. So first, both automa are going to check their favored track and make sure they still like it, which basically means that they're ahead on it. So the main automa is clearly happy with military, it's going to stay. But with me outpacing the Shadow Empire on technology, it's going to switch to exploration because it's so close to getting a landmark there. Okay, next, one of the nastier effects that you see at the higher difficulty, they're going to repeat their action from last turn. So remember, that means that blue is going to move up on conquering, and the Shadow Empire is going to move up on exploration. Now, in this case, they don't gain any benefits from those movements, but they do get 2 landmarks. Here they are, these fun buildings you probably heard about. And they're just going to earn the automa victory points every income turn. All right, now we look at the special ability of Conquerors. That's what the little purple symbol means here. It says if the automa controls fewer territories than the income turn number, there's income turn 2, and they have 3, so no, it would do a free Conquer action. Then if more than 2 territories controlled by the automa have only 1 token, which they don't, only 1 is only 1 token, they would get a free Shadow Empire to block me out. Then finally, they get 1 victory point for each territory, so that's going to be 3 free ones. Next, they gain regular victory points, and what you do is you look at the multiplier here for each of these different levels. So first you've got the number of landmarks and the number of places they've conquered, times 1. So that's 2 landmarks, 3 places conquered, that's 5 more victory points. Then times 0 for the advancement on the military and science tracks. And finally times 1 for each advancement on technology and exploration. They went up 1 on technology, so that's 1 point. That brings them to 19 to my 6, not looking too good. Next, this symbol means to add 2 more cards to their deck, so basically they will take more actions before they take an income turn. This time there's only a 2 showing here, but a 3 showing here, so we already added 2 turns this time, but we'll add 4 cards next time. This means they add a free Tapestry card face down here, so now their multipliers will be higher next time. They also get a potential Tapestry trap card, and then this means we just shuffle up their progress deck, their activation deck, and they're going to be ready to go for next time. Alright, seeing them get landmarks made me a bit jealous, so if I'm going to spend 1 of the gold resource plus 1 other one, we'll go and use the exploration one. That'll move me up into tier 2, so I'll get my own landmark, plus this lets me, if I want to, discard all the tech cards and then gain 1. And none of these seem amazing to me, so let's switch them out. We got anesthesia that'll help with red buildings, and I am probably about to get one. A telescope, which is good for exploration. Ooh, eyeglasses. Get another technology, and then also gain victory points for technologies. Yes, please. And we'll replace it with vaccines, which like science. I'll probably get that one too. Now, while income buildings can go on my civilization special track, these landmarks have to go on my capital board. So again, I can fill any of the spaces that doesn't have a red dot, and in this case it's a 2x2 building. And I want to either finish off 3x3 squares to get free resources, or get rows or columns to get free victory points. So here it looks like that one's a clear good place for it. If I get another little building, I can finish that off. And if I place an income building here, I'll get a free resource and get a little bit closer to getting some points for myself. Alright, Automa is coming. They're going to move on their favorite track, so Conquer again. And Shadow Empire is going to move on the science track. So not much going on with the Shadow Empire here. Automa is going to conquer. Now in this case he wants to conquer a space closest to my territories, but because there wasn't a little toppling icon on the card, he doesn't want to be next to me so I could attack him. So that means he's either going to go here or here, and we have a little tiebreaker on the AI card. You'll see here with these arrows, they tell me to start in this row, then this row, then this row, till I reach an eligible hex. So in this case they'll conquer right there, and sorry, I'm putting down the tile randomly. For my turn, I think I'll advance to technology again, so I need 1 gold and 1 of something else. Let's see, I don't think I'll be conquering much, so let's pay 1 of those military resources. So I'm going to move up. I can pick any building except for 1 of the gold buildings, and then if I pay an extra resource, I can advance 1 of my technologies. So let's see, I know the brown buildings eventually get me free victory points, so I think I'll go with that. Let's go and put this on advancing a technology as well. So it means we're going to advance 2 technologies right now. So I'll move up sewage and plumbing, which I can because someone, me, is on the tech tier 2 track. So that'll get me a free red building, and then eyeglasses will get me another technology. In this case, I'm going to gain vaccines and hopefully move up my science track some more. I guess my red building can get me a free tapestry card and work me up towards that free science advancement up there. Let's see, it is theocracy. You cannot advance on the science track, but whenever you enter any new advancement tier, gain 4 victory points. I don't like not being able to advance on science. Alright, AI's going again. They're going to advance on the science track, and they're trying to get to the first landmark they can, which right now is closest on science and exploration, so they're going to tie break for exploration, their favored one. So the Shadow Empire is getting close to another landmark. This is the first time the Automa's moved into science. They do get to roll the die and gain no benefit. They're going to advance on the exploration track. And that's probably good for me. That's not really helping them do much of anything. Let's see, I think I'm going to take my final action of the turn because I only have 3 resources left. So I'm going to spend them all to move up here. And I'm going to spend for the bonus here as well. So I'll get victory points for each of my red buildings. That's only 1, sadly. Then I'll also get to place a gold building and get another technology card. So let's see, this will give me 5 victory points when it advances, and I need someone to have banking to be able to advance it to square, which I already have. That'll get me a free landmark. And then don't forget, I get to place another income building. So that'll get me a free military resource, which I won't be using this turn. I'll be taking my income, I think, but good to have. And before I take my income turn, the Automa's going to go, and they got still several actions left. So they'll try to advance to the next available landmark, which for them is predictably conquering, so no tiebreaker needed, and the Shadow Empire will advance on technology. So there goes the Shadow Empire, and oh, they're going to conquer and gain a tapestry card. Now this time they did have a topple icon, so they don't mind getting next to me, and the tiebreaker, because they want to be as close to me as possible, is right here. Alright, I'll go ahead and take my income turn, since it's not going to accomplish much with a single resource. Now I'll play my Tapestry card. Definitely going to do the capitalism one. So I'm about to get some victory points for each gold resource I get, which will be 3. And then additionally, during this coming turn, if I can build more gold buildings, I'll also get free gold resources. Okay, now I get to advance one of my technology cards. So let's see, if I bump that up, I would gain victory points for each technology, but I think I'll get more, so let's wait on that. This would give me a free advancement on the science track. That would give me 5 victory points. Sure, let's see what the science roll gives me. In this case, it's exploration. Even though I'm not doing much on that track, it's not a terrible thing because that first space I don't really need for the tiles, so it's good that I can now get straight to actually putting down real spaces. Okay, now I get victory points, so I'm getting 2 points for every technology card, and I have 4, so that's 8. Getting 1 for each completed row, but I don't have any, so sadly that's it. Okay, then I'm gaining income, which is 3 of the bags. That's going to be 6 victory points for me from capitalism. And then 2 of everything else. And I get a new exploration tile. And also a new tapestry card. Ooh, this is good. I got a trap. This means that if the AI attacks me, I can force them to go down instead of me, and I gain a resource for doing it. So I might just kind of advance sometime this turn and give them the opportunity to attack me. Alright, so I'm for the moment ahead of the AI, but I don't expect it to last too long. Speaking of the AI, they are going to advance on the exploration track. With the Shadow Empire, they're close to getting another exploration landmark, so they'll also be on the exploration track. So here they go. So they explore using the tiebreaker, and in this case, because they're military, they don't really care where they go, so it's going to start from here. So wow, they explore her right there. And so let's see, I think I actually want to explore and then conquer there, and then have them try to come and trap me. So let's advance this for one of my brown resources. This means I get to place a tile, and I can spend another one for a tapestry card. Don't think I need that. Now, I haven't shown you exploration yet, but basically you put the tile down whatever orientation you want, and for every hex side where at least one of the 2 kind of terrains shown match up, so like here would be water or mountain, you get 1 victory point. So this space is a nice one because it's got stuff on 5 sides. So let's see, I think if I do that, we've got water here, sand here, water, 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 so that'll be 5 victory points, and I'll get a gray resource out of it. And you do only get those resources when you place the tile, not when you conquer it, just to note that. Alright, so hopefully the AI doesn't conquer the space I just built. Nope, they are immediately taking their income turn. So that's again what this little hand means when they draw their last 2 cards. So this is income turn 3. First they're going to reevaluate their favored tracks, but since they're both winning on theirs, nothing's going to change. They do resolve the action they skipped because they drew the hand, which means the automa is going to rush to the end on the conquering track, and the Shadow Empire is going to move on the exploration track. Now, this is pretty terrible for me. They're going to both get a landmark, and as you'll see in a second, he's going to conquer with the tiebreaker the exact space I'm trying to go to. There we go. They got a train station and a tank factory. And yeah, sadly, this is the worst possible result. They're going to go right there with the Shadow Empire in there as well, so I can't even move in there to try to get to the central aisle and let them enter my trap, so darn. Alright, they're certainly going to get a free Conquer, but they are going to get a free Shadow Empire one using the tiebreaker because they do have at least 2 places without tokens. And in this case, the tiebreaker puts it right there, so there go any hopes I have of getting those free victory points from getting the center. Then we're going to get a victory point for each controlled territory. That is 6 currently. And then a bunch more victory points for each territory and building, so that is 20 more victory points. Then 1 for each military and science advancement, that adds up to 8. And 1 for each technology and exploration, that only adds up to 2. So they're at 55 currently, and I'm lagging behind at 26. Now this time and next time they're going to add 4 cards. They're really going to be taking a bunch of actions on their turns now, not good for me. They're going to cover up another one of these spaces, increasing their multiplier yet again, and also add another card to their hand and shuffle these things up. Well, you know what? I'm still not going to let them foil my plan, because I still want to get those resources for being trapped, so I am going to go ahead and conquer. So yeah, this works. I get to put it in a space adjacent to me, so I'll go right here where there is a brown resource. And I roll these 2 conquer dice and pick 1 of the results shown. So I can either get what was on the hex, which would be a brown resource, or 5 victory points. And I think here I'll go for the victory points. Come on, AI, attack me. You know you want to. All right, so we're going to... yes, the automa will be trying to conquer me. Excellent. The Shadow Empire is going to move up on science. Okay, so comes the automa, getting close to the end of the track. The Shadow Empire is caught up to me, so if I want to get that landmark, I will have to move a bit. And the automa is going to move in here, but in this case I'll play my trap and topple them instead of me getting toppled, and I get a resource, and that gives me 1 toward the 2 of toppling them to get 10 victory points here. And for the 1 resource, I guess I'll get a gold bag since I want to advance on this track a good bit this turn. So speaking of, let's go into advanced science. I'll use a military resource because I don't think I'm going to spend much of them. So I can either roll for a free advancement, but without a benefit, so that might not be great for me, or get a gray building. In this case, I'll get the gray building, but put it on the free science die roll that will give me the benefit. So hopefully I get something good. Ooh, yes, just what I wanted. So technology is going to advance for free. That's saving me 3 whole resources. And so I move up, I can discard all 3 tech cards if I want to, but then I get 2 technology cards, and additionally I'm going to get another big building. So let's see, get a red building when it goes up, and then score red buildings. Telescope doesn't really interest me much. Let's reshuffle these and see if we get something better. We're getting light bulbs. That would get me a golden building. That certainly looks like the winner there. Or the nail will get me a tapestry card and then a golden building, sure. The bakery getting me another landmark. I mean, I think I want another golden building. That'll get me some free victory points. So let's go for that one this time. And I guess I'll also go for... I don't love any of my tapestry cards right now, so let's go for the nail. We'll replace it with penicillin, another science one. And the compass, another exploration one. So I'm definitely getting a lot of those. Gotta leverage more. And the landmark I got is this giant rubber works, which takes up 2 by 2 by 2, kind of like 3 squares put together. The only places I seem to be able to fit it are here, I guess. And that looks pretty decent. I almost have a complete row there. With a single building, I'll have a whole row there. So yeah, I like that. Let's stick with that. Meanwhile, the automa is going to try to race to the end of the track on military. And the Shadow Empire is going to move up on exploration. Not doing much there, but the automa is 3 spaces away from finishing. I'm 5 away from finishing technology, so I'm not sure I can beat them. Oh, but what the hey, let's give it a try. So I'm going to spend 3 resources to go up here. I'll get my second to last gold building, then I'll score gold buildings, and then I will spend an extra resource to advance one of my technologies. All right, let's see. Do I want to get the 15 victory points now or finish the row and be pretty sure I'll get them later? You know, right now that's worth 2 victory points for every income turn, so that's a guaranteed 4 victory points. So as long as I get 2 income buildings on the 15 and the 10, I should be okay putting it there. And for my free technology upgrade, or not free, I spent one, I'm going to do this and get another bag, and then if I can get that up, I'll be able to take this off, and that's 10 free victory points for the next 2 income turns. All right, back to the automa. They are advancing on the technology track, and the Shadow Empire is advancing on the military track. Neither of those sound too bad to me. It does get the automa another tapestry card, but I'm not really planning on attacking them, so that should be okay. Although I guess if I topple them one more time, I would get 10 victory points. But man, one of these has to be a trap, I'm sure. All right, let's advance technology one more time. That leaves me with 3 bags. And actually, I think I'll bring it down to 2 bags and leave myself with 1 tech as well, so I can go up on the science track. So in either order I want, I can resolve a circle ability and also move a tech card up. The circle ability one's pretty obvious. I'm going to get another technology card since these are worth a lot of victory points for me. And that gets air conditioning. Not too interested in that. Then the one I'll move up will certainly be the light bulb to get my last golden building out. And this time I will put on the 15 just to make sure I get it. All right, so now I'm getting 3 victory points for every technology card. That's awesome. And then also 10 more victory points just every income turn for free from biometrics. So liking all of that. Meanwhile, the automa will get up to some more fun. Okay, they're trying to reach a landmark, which will unfortunately take them up the conquering track again. And meanwhile, the Shadow Empire is going up the tech track for no effect. So they don't conquer, but again, they're ahead of me and they get a free landmark. All right, so I could advance the tech track one more time. That would get me this tech hub. I'm not sure if that would actually finish anything for me, though. It doesn't look like it would. So I think I want to jump up on the science track before I finish my turn instead. So it will cost me this. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm supposed to be getting 1 bag resource every time. Did I do that the first time? I don't think I did it either time, so I think I'm actually up to 4. And that would give me enough to advance twice on the science track, be only 1. And that would give me enough to advance twice on the technology track, be only 1 away from the end. So, yeah, what the hey, let's try it and give ourselves a chance. So this one is unfortunately pretty disappointing. I get 1 victory point for each military track advancement and science. That's only 4 total. But I do get this landmark. Where could it actually... You can go off the board, by the way, so that would leave me with only 1 left here to finish. I guess that's probably the best I can do. Or I could go here, but that would achieve basically the same thing. But actually, no, it wouldn't, because if I get another landmark, I can put it right here. So that'd be a little bit easier to finish. All right, we're in for a little race. Let's see what the AI does. Of course, they're going to try to race for the end here. Or wait, you know what? It's closest to the landmark or the end. They're 3 spaces from the expiration. Yeah, actually, they were tied for science because I didn't get the landmark yet, but sadly, conquering comes before science on this tiebreaker, so they are going to move where we think they're going to move. And then, yeah, the other automa is going to move up on the exploration track and get closer to another landmark. Yeah, so they're just 1 away. I'm sure they're going to get the 10 points. I guess I could get the 5 points because I should be able to beat the Shadow Empire to the end of the exploration track at least. So I'm actually going to pause on advancing gold and instead go up on science 1. Reason for that is I should be able to finish another row with this landmark, and I'm also going to get a tapestry card, and I don't like any of the ones I have right now, so that might be good. Okay, so the tapestry card is Socialism. Choose an advancement track, advance or regress to the match the closest opponent. Do not gain the benefit or bonus. That could be interesting. I could just jump up to the lead in one of these. And I score all my technology cards, which, geez, right now I have 7. And finally I get this humble little building. So yeah, let's finish a row here, and then one more building here, and I can finish another one. So I think I'm about to take a income turn. Let's see what the AI does. Yep, they finish off their track for sure, and unfortunately Gray gets close to finishing too. So it's a final conquer for the AI. They are actually out of tokens now, and they are going to drop a Shadow Empire with them. There's where they go with the tiebreaker. They also get 10 more victory points for completing their advancement track first. Not looking good for us. And meanwhile, the Shadow Empire reaches the last landmark for the exploration track, so they're going to get this nice little space shuttle. You know, looking back, I'm not sure if I got the 2 resources for being first here. Oh well. But I am definitely getting 3 resources for this. Alright, so Theocracy is not going to work because I want to advance science. Pillage and Plunder doesn't really work because it does let me ignore trap cards, but I can't get close to the AI. They've totally had me blocked off. Pirate Rule is not going to really work. I mean, I'm not... yeah, all these conquering things. I guess Socialism is my best bet. And yeah, the track I want to advance is going to be here, because that'll put me right next to these nice space tiles that I can get, which give pretty cool bonuses. So let's go ahead and say Socialism is my final card. And I get to increase one of my technologies. Let's do the somewhat obvious one, scoring all my technology cards. So that'll be 7 more victory points. Okay, and then scoring my victory points, I'll get 3 times the number of technology cards, so that's 21. That's fabulous. Plus 10 more from biometrics. Then 2 times the number of completed rows and columns. So I've just got 1, 2, so it's only 4 points. And then that is it for now. So for income, I'm getting 2 gray. I'm getting 2 brown. I think I'll need more of that. So let's take 2 more brown as my bonus from completing the thing first. And I get 1 more. Let's put the 1 more in the technology-specific resource. And then I get 4 more of these. That's more than enough. And 2 of those. Get another tile and another tapestry card. Plea for aid, where each track where all tokens are more advanced than yours gain 2 victory points and 1 resource. Well, the resource won't help me, so not sure I'll use that. Alright, let's see what they do. Darn, they do not take an income turn right away. Now, lucky for me, the Shadow Empire is going to do the science track, so they might not get to the end of their track yet. And the automa's already at the end of that 1 track, so let's see, what's the closest they can get to getting a landmark? It's actually going to be the science track as well. So these guys both move just a little bit, and they do get a tapestry card for the trap that'll never happen. So the interesting question now is, which track do I want to advance all the way? Because interstellar travel, I think, can sometimes give me victory points for technologies, and then nanotechnology will certainly give me a bunch of victory points. I'll get to advance another card and also get another square effect. But then AI Singularity restarts me on a track. So I could get more technology cards for very cheap, and they would each be worth 3 victory points for me in the final scoring. So that seems pretty good. But yeah, if I get here, I get to place 3 of those. Although I don't have oh no, I do have enough to advance all the way on that. So I kind of want to do both of those, but that's going to be pretty much using up all my resources. Oh, you know what I should do? I should advance on science. That's a free advancement right there. And then if I roll anything except military, it's going to be good for me because all these things are great right now. So yeah, let's do that. So I'll spend 1 science resource and 1 military resource. And gosh, I just hope I don't roll military. And great. Okay, I rolled technology. So by the way, I can discard 2 Tapestry cards for 5 victory points. I'll certainly do that. Let's get rid of these 2 military-focused ones. No, I didn't show you my victory points after that phase, but I am just crossing over 100, so I'm at 104 with that little bonus I just got. And over here, I'm going to, in either order, get a square effect, and then advance a technology. And then I can spend 3 technologies to get 10 victory points. I'm not going to, though, because, again, I think the space thing might potentially give me victory points for those, so I want to hang on to them. All right, so for the square effect, I'll definitely get eyeglasses again and score all 7 victory points for my technologies. But then for the advancement one, I guess vaccine would get me 5 more victory points, so let's go and do that. So the AI is going to take their last real income turn, because in the 5th one, all they do basically is get victory points. So we're going to look at their favored track. Exploration is still going to be it for the Shadow Empire, but the blue one's actually going to change to Science, because that's where they have the best chance of getting something. They're going to resolve this card again, which means the Shadow Empire will advance on Science, and so will the main automa. It does get him a no-effect Science roll on Exploration, which is going to let him put a tile using the tiebreaker, which will just be right here, nothing too exciting. Now his bonuses, none of these matter because he doesn't even have any outposts left, but he does get 1 victory point for each conquered place. The trap was not conquered, happily for me, so that means he's only getting 7. But then, oh man, the victory points are going to roll in. So he's got 7 plus 3, 13 with his landmarks times 2. That's 26. That already puts him at 98. Then 1 times his advancements on military, which is 12, and science, which is 3, so that's 15 more. And then 2 times his advancements on technology and exploration, which is 5, so that's 10 more. So we're actually kind of close, but man, I think he's going to blow past me the final turn because he still has a huge income turn ahead of him. And here's the worst part. He is getting 4 more cards, so his final turns are going to take a while. I think he's going to finish quite a bit after me. Covers it up to get even bigger multipliers, and there that goes. All right, let's keep up this fun little science train while we have it available to us. So that'll be 1 of the science resources, and I'll use my less military resource as well. Once again, I don't mind too much of any of this. Oh, I got technology again. So this is going to push me into the singularity. I do count as the second one to complete a track, so I'll get 5 victory points. And then I get to put this back in whatever beginning space I want. I'm going to do technology and get some more technology cards. All right, AI, just keep doing your thing. So racing the end of his favored track, that's science currently, so not going to do too much for him there. He will get a tapestry card that's useless. The Shadow Empire is going to go up technology. It does not matter. Right, so for me, here's my biggest game plan. This space for science lets me get a landmark and also repeat the effect of any space I'm currently on. So if I can get up here where I can do a double placement of space tiles, I won't have enough. So maybe I'll repeat Interstellar Travel and get more space tiles to choose from. So in any case, I'm going to spend 2 of my 4 remaining brown resources to move up here. I'm going to draw 3 space tiles, and then I can place 1 of them for points immediately. So here's hoping for something that synergizes well. Okay, so this one is placing a red building, which would be good for me because I need to get those 10 victory points and could finish more in my place. And then scoring red, that would only be 2 victory points. This one is gaining some resources and getting 8 victory points. This one is placing a tech building, which would not do much for me, getting me 3 victory points. Yeah, I think victory point wise, I should be able to get some buildings in other ways, hopefully. So I guess we'll do this one. That gets me another bag and another tech resource and 8 victory points. Okay, go quickly through the automaton. They're going to try to advance technology again, which will give them a free advancement. And okay, the AI will also do technology, or sorry, science, I should be saying. They're both here, but the automa gets to go on science again. Oh no, which means they get to roll again, and exploration this time. I will place a token for them there with the tiebreaker, although again, I don't think it really matters very much at this point. Well, good thing I'm set up to go next, so I guess I'm going to spend... I can spend 2 gold resources. I don't really need those anymore, plus the 1 gray science resource. And I'm going to repeat this again, hopefully get a better space hex. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Get a technology, upgrade a technology, and then gain victory points for technology. Get a tapestry, put a tapestry on top, and then get victory points for tapestries. Not as good. Ooh, roll the science die and 6 victory points. So those are definitely the winners, I think. So for the immediate one, I'll certainly do technology cards. I'm going to get 1, upgrade 1, and then gain some victory points. None of these are really worth much, so I'll just grab a random one. I think I'm going to upgrade something else anyway. So let's see, I could get a science die, but I think just the 5 victory points sounds better to me. And then I've got 8 science cards, so I'm going to gain 8 more victory points from that thing I just played. And I do get this big academy. This is a 4x2. Where am I going to fit this? Let's see, there would not do anything. There wouldn't do anything. There wouldn't do anything. I guess if I go there, I leave myself a single spot again, but I need to fill in that 10 victory point spot, so I think I'm going to use it anyway. So yeah, it's pretty much just denying the AI a landmark since they were about to move there. I'm okay with that. All right, and the AI is going to try to advance toward a landmark, so that will be science for them. They don't do anything with it, though. The Shadow Empire is also close. Oh no, actually, they're closest on the exploration track, of course, so they're going to move up there. I'm getting fairly low on resources. That'll be enough to do the warp gates effect. And then besides that, I can, I guess, jump on science. Yeah, I can get another building with science, and then I can just do a few technology actions. That'll finish me up. So let's do warp gates first and finish that track before the AI. I will pay gold resource to get to place a second one. Let's see, between this and advancing the science track, I could get those fairly well. The red is not really worth it. This one should be okay as long as I don't roll exploration, so I definitely want to do that one. And this one, let me draw a Tapestry card and then play another one. Complete Afraid would only get me 2. Theocracy probably wouldn't get me anything. Militarism certainly wouldn't. So unless I draw a really good one, that's not really going to be worth very much. So yeah, it seems like these are my best 2 options. So I get to place a gray building. I'll certainly place it over on my civilization thing, which you can't see, to get 10 more victory points. That brings me to 52. Well, I should say 152. And I also score my gray buildings. I have 3, so that's 3 more to get to 156. And the AI before their final scoring is at 123. And here I gotta hope I don't roll that exploration result for the science die. And no, okay, I got technology, which is gonna get me another tech card. That'll be 3 victory points. I can take that. I'm just gonna draw a random one because I'm not gonna upgrade anymore. And additionally, 6 more victory points here. Okay, and the AI. Let's see, they can't move on conquering, so they're going to move on exploration. That gets them nothing. And the Shadow Empire is going to move on technology, which doesn't really get that much either. They still have so many actions left. Whereas I am pretty much spent. Looks like probably my best option is to increase science just one more time, because I cannot reach. Well, actually, I could reach another technology card, but I'm going to get definitely more victory points by doing the science route. So yeah, so that's 1 and 2 more, leaving me with 1 more resource I can't spend. I'm going to go up here, I'm going to go place another gray building and then score them. And this is good because number 1, it's going to give me 3 times my number of completed rows and columns, and then I also get 4 victory points for itself. So, didn't I have 1? Yes, okay, I left that one. Or I guess I have a few options to choose from here. So I'll go there, finishing that row. And then I get the 4 victory points for my used gray buildings. Yeah, that's going to be it. I'm ahead of the automa right now, and I'm going to get my final income, but they're probably going to score a ton of victory points at the end, and I think blow past me. We'll see. Because they're still advancing. Okay, so the automa wants to get to a landmark, so that's going to be science, and they'll probably reach the final one because they only need to move 2 or more times. Whereas, okay, they're just moving on the military track. Shadow Empire basically doesn't matter at all right now. Okay, now I can take my final turn and then just run through the automa. So my income turn, let's see where we end up. So my civilization has no powers. I don't get to place a tapestry card. I just do... I do get to raise 1 more technology card. Let's see, I got the stock market. I can't imagine I can actually finish any rows with it because it's so big, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I need to, like, fit it in there, and I can't because of these circles. So moving that up wouldn't help me at all. But none of these would either. Well, I guess... No, I mean, moving up a track isn't going to help me. Yeah, so unfortunately, moving up a science card is not going to help, so we'll just move that up. It doesn't really matter. But I do get my science victory points times 3, so I've got 4, 6, 9 times 3, it's 27. Then I also get 1, 2, 3 times my rows and columns. Got 1, 2, 3, not that great, just 9 more. Okay, and then just 10 more from biometrics, and that is it. So my final score is 212, which is a little bit lower than I've been doing in my previous games. I think I got kind of skunked by the AI here, and also maybe didn't make as good choices. And so he's got to get about 90 points. I can't imagine he won't get it, though. But let's rush through his turns and find out. So Shadow Empire won't really matter at this point except for landmarks, and I don't know if he can get any. So, okay, he's going to move on science. He's 1 away from a landmark now, and... yeah, Shadow Empire. Can he get any landmarks? No, he can't. I mean, I guess he could move towards the science track, but yeah, we're just going to skip him for now. Okay, and he's moving on any track, which is going to be science again, so that does get him another landmark, which I think is going to be the key thing here. And, He's trying to reach the end of a track, which is clearly going to be science. It is the closest for him. And then he does take his income turn, so we'll resolve this in a moment. So he can change his favored track. He's not going to. He's going to resolve this, which does mean that he'll reach the end of the track, although that's just going to give him a few victory points, so not too terrible there. He does get 1 point for every space he controls, which is 7, so that brings him up to 30. Remember, we're at 212, so keep track. Okay, and then he does his victory points, and that is it. So he gets 3 times places controlled plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14 times 3. So that's 42. So that already brings him up to 72. Man, he's already really close. Yeah, okay, he's definitely going to blow past me. 2 times military and science advancement. He went up to 8 plus 12. That's 20 times 2 is 40. So he has now tied me. And then 3 times technology and exploration. That's only 7, so he goes up 21 more. So I got beat by 21 points. Here you go, the final tally, 233 to 212. And there you go, that is Tapestry, the solo with the automa. Yeah, so level 3 I beat pretty easily. Level 4 beat me by a bit, but I think I could have played better. So it seems like level 4 is kind of my correct spot for now. Good gaming, everyone. Check out the review if you're interested, and I'll see you at the next stop.